I shall proceed and continue to rock the mic. What's up? Sup, dude. Okay, so what I want to do, come on, load. I want to do some fishing to start off with, try and make some progress in wrapping up the new fishing quest and getting that silly hat. What do we want? Silly hats. When do we want them? In a reasonably timely fashion. I think I forgot to do something. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll grab that in a second. It'll just take me one moment. But what we have to do is catch 40 minnows and 20 cloakfish. Cloakfish and minnows are both easy to catch, so it's just going to take a little while. Minnows, I've actually got some nice, good, solid data on those. What I forgot to get was what the tertiary lure was for these. I just need to look at my sheet right away, and I'm going to try 2 different lures and see which one works better. Cloakfish, I've got a few different options. From my research, eye and tongue seems to be the primary and secondary. However, a fellow named Metris Musk said he got nice results with eye, feather, and rotten finger. And I don't know. We'll have to kind of give it a go and see what happens. To me, I'm still not convinced that feather isn't just completely useless, but I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to make, let's say 1 eye, feather, rotten finger lure. Eye, feather, rotten finger. And I'm going to make one that is probably eye, tongue, I don't know, feather. Let's try an eye, tongue, eye worm. Eye, tongue, rotten finger. And eye, tongue, tooth. That sounds good to me. Okay, so basically, I've got a pretty good idea of what the cloakfish are going to bite on, namely eye and tongue. So I'm just throwing on some other stuff to try and see what might help catch more fish, more cloakfish. And you know what? Maybe none of them will work, and maybe we'll just go 2 eye and tongue, just to be on the safe side with that one, because I know those ones will work. And then for large minnow, I am just going to go and quickly check, but I feel like I've got that one pretty well on lockdown as well. I'm going to only try 3 different lures for that one, because I have some actual data to back that one up. Okay, so I will just be 1 sec. I just got to run up and check one document. Alrighty. So this one, tongue is the main thing, tooth is the minor thing, and we're going to try tongue. Let's do those on their own. I know that tongue and tooth work well. Maybe let's do a couple of those. And let's also do tongue, tooth, eye worm, and tongue, tooth, rotten finger. Now my reasoning for that is when I was doing testing last last week. Okay, so tongue caught like, let's say like 6 out of 15 minnows on its own. Tooth caught, let's say, like 3 out of 15 minnows on its own. And eyeworm and rotten finger both had nibbles. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what nibbles mean. And maybe the tertiary lure is just going to push other fish away. I don't know. But I figure it can't hurt. Let's go have a little look-see. If these have aged, I don't think they will have. No. They're going to take a little while. I have one, and I do kind of want to try like with my main normal lures to see what to see if it's going to make all fish more attracted to my lure, or if it's just going to make what I've got on there more likely to be caught. Like if I've got a minnow lure, is it going to mean I'm going to catch more minnows, or is it going to mean that I'm going to catch more of everything? That's kind of what I'm curious on. Yeah, so we'll start with the minnows. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I know I'm going to spend more time than I'd like.
Practice my Frost 2 and Frost 3 so I can be able to spam.
What? I know I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this than I would like to, but it is decent XP, and I do get a hat for it, a silly hat, and man, it's all about the silly hats. You know it is. So we'll go and we'll try and knock that out as quick as we can. I mean, those minnows, I need so many of them. If I start getting sick of doing it, I'm gonna... You know what? Oh, maybe I should do the cloakfish first. How many of those do I need? 20? Maybe I should just knock the minnows out of the way while I'm still feeling revitalized, robust. I don't know. While I'm still feeling like I don't want to kill myself from fishing too long. That's what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so whatever. Let's do the minnows, and I can maybe finish up the cloakfish later today if I get burned out. These shouldn't take too long. Minnows are really quick to catch. The body of water I'm catching from is pretty reasonable to catch from. The distances aren't super far to throw or anything, so it's actually not too difficult to bring in fish pretty quickly. And that was even with individual lures when I was testing last week with a sort of quote-unquote power lure. I should just be knocking these things out left and right. There isn't a whole lot of fish in this area to choose from in terms of like different types of fish. I think you can catch eels, minnows, and catfish, and I don't think there's anything else you can catch. So the only place I should see any real overlap with catfish is on the tertiary lures that I picked because I got nibbles from catfish on those as well. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good thing. Maybe it'll be a bad thing. But we can kind of test that out and see what happens now. And I've got a sweet little spot set up over here. That's where I was fishing the other day, so it should actually be a pretty solid place to fish from. Where was it? I want to say it was like right over here, maybe here. Here it is. Yeah. So this is a solid spot to fish from. I just need to make sure that I'm not gonna aggro anything, and I should be okay. Yeah, look at that. Balding 50-year-old Asian man. Okay, so I want... Okay, so let's start with small tongue and small tooth. these ones should just catch me a shit ton of minnows, no matter what I do. And I shouldn't have too much worries about bringing in other fish with these lures, because what I have on there for catching minnows should overpower that mostly. Yesterday, using the fish scent attractor potion, wow, a 2-pound minnow. Doesn't look like 2 pounds. Using the fish scent attractor, it seemed like I caught way more fish that I didn't want to catch. Heavy breathing. There's always that one guy who like cruises on by heavily breathing. Always. Okay, I did catch a catfish on that. That's interesting. It's a saddle blind eel nibbled. It's kind of interesting because, like, based on the raw data, you would think that, like, I would just be hammering out the minnows, but I don't know. Maybe I need to consistently cast a little bit further. I know that distance is something that is quite an important part of catching fish here, which is why I picked the spot that I'm in. It's one of the few spots in this area where you can actually get a longer cast, kind of an optimal cast. So hopefully it works out well. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch on this lure until it breaks. Then on the next one, I'm going to maybe try one of those other lures that I made with the tertiary and see how that works out. Yeah, maybe I'll try all of them and then drink the potion and use the same lure as this one, because I made 2 of this lure. Maybe I made 3 of this one, actually. And drink the potion and try it out with this lure, and I should have a pretty good comparison as to what I've caught. Because right now I have no other fish in my inventory, so it should be pretty straightforward what is and isn't catching. Oh, that might be too short. Way too long. On the bright side, it seems like this lure is really consistently catching the minnows. Beginning there, I had a few, like, didn't catch anything, or I caught like a catfish instead. But I mean, for most of this lure, I've been catching minnows consistently. So it seems like I am correct on the primary and secondary for this one, for minnows. But will the tertiary lures have any effect? That's what I want to find out. And I also want to catch 40 minnows, so This guy is cruising all over the place. Okay, so what did we catch off of that lure? We caught 8 minnows and 1 catfish. That's not too bad. All right, now let's try the same lure, but with eyeworm on it as well. So far, so good. It's kind of tough to say. I feel like the nibbling is doing something different than I think it is. Ah, shit, overcast. Like, it kind of feels like the nibbling that you see when you're using a single lure or whatever isn't really saying that it's, like, very, very slightly effective at catching that thing that nibbled, making it a tertiary lure. It's almost like it's saying, like it doesn't catch specific fish or something. I don't know. But the stats will speak. If we catch more than 6 minnows on this lure, I'm willing to say that it's a better lure for minnows. So basically, if we have more than 12 minnows in our inventory after doing this lure, then I would say it's a pretty safe bet. Ah, shit. And I've had two missed casts here. I think it's also important that I'm fishing in the same spot where I did those initial tests. From what I can tell, that shouldn't make a difference, but it is good to have a little bit more conclusive data on something. And I mean, to be consistent is what really makes a difference here. And we are catching a lot of minnows. I think that this lure might actually be better. I think the other thing as well is that I'm doing much more conclusive testing this time around. Like when we did the tests in when I was fishing in here the other day, I did a single lure with a single component, casting in the exact same spot for each one of the lures, 15 times until it broke, and really charted and reported all of it. So I was able to go back and look and say, okay, well, this is what worked, this is what didn't work, and go off of the actual statistics of fish caught both in this lake and in the other one in here, which are about the same. They're like within one or two fish, but the catch rate of different fish is about the same. So, shit, I've had like a bunch of missed casts in here, and I still think that this lure is going to catch more. This might be the breaking one here. Yeah, it is. So let's see, moment of truth. Yeah, we're at 14 now. So I'm pretty certain that this one is the one that we want. Small tongue, small tooth, and eyeworm. However, we caught 8 minnows on that. So if we can get at or above 22, then we can say that rotten finger works the same as eyeworm, because they both had similar nibble rates for these. 22 is our number we're shooting for. This is a catfish and not a minnow. Oh, it is a minnow. Interesting. They sometimes behave in weird ways for the fish that you're catching. Like sometimes you think like, oh, well, that's how a catfish, pulls on the lure. And it gets in and it's a minnow. Like that one just dragged in. It didn't like run at all or anything. Oh, overcast. Oh, fuck, I did it again. I'm sorry, I can't do nothing for you, son. Well, right now, it's looking like this rotten finger isn't as effective. But maybe we'll have a spectacular last few reel-ins on this. Ah, fuck. There's like a fine line between casting too far and casting the perfect distance out to maximize your chances of catching a fish on your reel-in. It's kind of a distance-based thing. Okay, so gotta say, not quite as good. So for minnows, small tongue, small tooth, and eye worm will net you 8 to 10 minnows on a 15 cast lure, maybe even more. I don't know. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to small tongue and small tooth, but I'm going to drink a fish scent attractor and see how that affects it. I caught, let's say, 6 to 8 minnows on a small tongue, small tooth lure without a potion. So let's see what it's like with a potion. So 21 is 1. So if we get up to, say, 28, maybe even 30 minnows on this lure, I think we can pretty safely say that it positively affects the fish that you're trying to catch, and not just a general you catch more fish of all types kind of thing. It seemed like yesterday it was kind of fucking me up, but I don't know if that's like more so because of where I was fishing, what I was fishing and stuff. Hey, dude. Yeah, I am doing a little bit of fishy science. I'm also trying to wrap up the fishing quest. Get me a silly hat, because we all know it's all about the silly hats. It's all about the silly hats, baby. So I've got a pretty good idea of what works out here. I went back and I looked at my charts on what I was catching here and made a few different lures to test a few different ideas based on nibbles mainly for the tertiary, as well as some of just the tongue and, was it tongue and tooth? I think it was tongue and tooth. I want to say it was tongue and tooth. Yeah, tongue and tooth. So tongue and tooth were my two, tongue being the predominant one, tooth being the secondary one. And then I made a few that were just those, and I made one that was tongue, tooth, and rotten finger, and one that was tongue, tooth, and eye worm. And tongue, tooth, and eye worm seems to catch more than both of the other two. And now I'm trying back with tongue and tooth and a fishing potion to see if the fishing potion is going to cause me to catch more minnows, the fish that I'm after, or just more fish in general. Because it may have a negative impact if you're fishing for one specific fish. But it does seem to currently look like it's just catching a lot of things. Well, I'll tell you, once I figure out certain things, I'll write them down for myself in my own chart, and I'll update that chart based on other data that I receive. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to use other people's charts, and I don't care if people make their own charts and do their experimentation. I'm doing it for my own personal gain, because I can verifiably say, like, you know, this is what worked for me. And I've changed a few of those things as time goes on. I update things, I try different things. But it's kind of like once I have decoys data to parse through, like I have my own data for the jungle, but I need the raw data on individual lures for all the other areas, and I can basically take those and make every primary and secondary lure 100% accurate, and then make the tertiaries. I'll have those narrowed down to at least a few items that can be tested. And yeah, I mean, there's a few things that, like, once you figure them out, they kind of apply across the board. Like right now, I can tell you the fishing potion is causing me to catch more of the fish that I want. I'm catching a shit ton more minnows with the fishing potion on. I think I caught like 6 to 8 minnows because I had a few overcasts and whatnot. So let's say I was going to catch 8 minnows on tooth and tongue. I'm already above that, and I've only really caught 1 catfish. So I'd say this is a pretty potent combo, and if I happen to have 1 more tooth, tongue, and eye worm and a potion, oh, and I don't even have my luck rings on. So that's actually perfect for testing purposes, not for catching fish purposes. But I'm pretty sure with tooth, tongue, eye worm, both luck rings, and a fish scent attractant, I would catch 15 minnows, give or take. Well, I guess take. There's no give when the lure breaks at 15. Still, if I catch over 10, then it's correct. And I don't want to have to rely on something like the fish scent attractor, but it's not that difficult of a potion to make, so I'm not overly concerned about it. And I guess what I'll do is my potion should still be active by the time this lure expires. I can throw my luck rings on and increase my chances even more. But I am catching a shit ton of minnows on this, and this isn't even my, like, perfect lure. So, looks pretty good. Okay, so what did we get? Yeah, we got an even 10 minnows doing that. Now let's continue on with our luck rings. Swap that out for that. We got a fresh tongue and tooth. And now with the luck rings, let's see if we get more than 10. Overcast, fuck. Probably don't even need to cast that far with these on. Also, I put in some bids for the different stalls. I put in the lowest possible bid that you can do for each stall in both High Step and in Guild City. So hopefully I don't get both, but it was the lowest possible bid. And if I get one, it'll basically just be because no, there wasn't enough people bidding on them. But I want to see, because if I do, then, you know, I can build up a bit of dram over a month by selling things through a stall. And that'll be good, because then it'll let me actually put in a little bit more of a substantial bid. But it kind of seems like there's always empty stalls, which makes me think it's worth it to put in a bid. So even if I get both stalls, I think I can probably scrounge up the dough and open up some stalls. I hope I don't get both, though. Really fucking hope so. I'm kind of doubting I will. I don't think I'll get either, to be honest. But you never know. It'd be a very lucky month if I do. New record, 2.3 pound minnow. What a fatty. $2.43. Whew. These minnows are getting unsustainably large. That was a short cast, but it still worked. Yes. That's what it's all about. Maximizing. I think it's pretty safe to say the luck rings do definitely have an effect. How substantial that effect is, I'm not totally sure. We'll kind of see what the data says once I finish this roundup, but I feel like I'm about on par with where I was the last lure, which is basically catching a minnow every cast, except for when I fuck up, and except for the odd one. 2.6 pounds, man. I'm catching fatties out here. Come on. Bite. Bite. Perfect. Yeah, I think this might be the rings might be like a 10 to 20% boost on the catch rate. I'm gonna say I probably am gonna get 11 or 12 minnows out of this lure, and it would probably be 15 if I had my tertiary on here. And I even fucked up a few of the casts. If I would have been doing like long optimized casts for all of these, I probably could have caught 15 just on this. But bearing in mind I have the fish scent attractor and the luck rings on, which even with just primary and secondary, I should be catching a fish just about every time. Okay, I think that might be it. Nope, one more. Cool. $2.83 pounds. That is the fattest minnow. Okay, that breaks the lure. So let's see. Yeah, that gave us 12. And again, this isn't like a totally optimized lure. And I'm using... okay, so let's see. If I did small tongue, small tooth, and eye worm with a fish attractant and with the luck rings, I'm pretty sure I could catch 15 minnows. So, well, I know that okay, let's say I know that I can get 12 with small tongue and small tooth, but I got like 6 to 8 with just small tongue and small tooth, no bonuses. And with small tongue, small tooth, and eye worm, I'd get 8 to 10. And I say 8 to 10 because I had a couple fucked up casts that may have caught me fish during that. Okay, so we're good on minnows now. Perfect timing. Let's go and do those cloakfish. So we only need 20. We can wrap that up relatively quick. I just need to test a few things with it. All right, where am I going? Desert. Do I want to go to the wilds? I don't think I want to go to the wilds. Catch cloakfish all over the place. Lucian wilds. I caught a lot of cloakfish in as well. So maybe I'll work my way back into there. I don't know. First thing I'm going to do is go back to the house and drop these minnows off in the box. I don't need to worry about them. I think that's the number one thing. See, I still have my fish scent attract. Fish? Is it fish scent attracted? I don't know. Fish thing. I have my fish thing. Take those two, put them there. These are going... I have 4 cloakfish, but I'm not going to worry about those. So, yeah, I'm just going to say that small tongue, small tooth, and eyeworm is the way to go. Put that in there. That can come out because it is not correct. Wicked cool. So we had small tongue and lesser eye for that. I made a few of those. And I've got a lot of variations on this, which I mainly just want to try out what they do. Because there was, I have no, oh, hang on a second.
This one, not rabbit.
Yeah, so I have no reason to believe this because I don't have my own personal proof, but a guy named Metris Musk in the community said he got nice results with eye, feather, and rotten finger. So I made that to try that out, as well as my own combinations, which are a little bit more backed up. Lesser eye and small tongue are the two that I think are the main ones. And I made a few with different tertiaries to try and test those. And we'll basically see if lesser eye, feathers, rotten finger as an entire 15-piece lure is going to catch a solid amount of cloakfish. Excuse me.
No? Okay. Watch your way. Nearly got you. You're not on that quest for the cart, no?
Yeah, I would try a few different areas for fishing for cloakfish, but I don't really have any conclusive data on any of the other bodies of water, such as like over here. In my mind, that's the same body of water that you catch cloakfish in. So it should be the same. Like from the wilds, you'd be fishing from that water as well. But I haven't tested it myself, so I don't want to sit there and waste time trying to catch cloakfish in an area that there may not even be cloakfish. So until I may end up fishing there once I have the testing day data back and can go over all of that. I feel like I've got a pretty general grasp on where to catch everything. The only thing I'm not sure about is certain places like that, where it's technically the same body of water, but it might not register that way as far as fishing goes because of the different zones, I guess, that they might be considered as. Oh, and yesterday when I was doing some PvP stuff, that there was actually a bug that was in yesterday that I kind of felt like it wasn't registering when it should have, but there was actually a bug with warriors that certain, like your shield bash and maybe sword dash, or maybe just one of the slice things, it wasn't like registering the way it should. So I should actually even be doing more damage today, which is cool. Okay, sounds good, Luca. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Man, there are a lot of weeping crowdos through here. This is fantastic. Whoa, no. For tram, 1700. I'm gonna need to get that number up. Those are rookie numbers. I want you to pump those numbers up. Yeah, see, this is the same water as over there. So if you follow this water path along, you can actually see a division line right there. So technically, I should be able to catch fish, cloakfish, right here in this water now. I'm going to wait until it gives me the pop-up that says entering the wilds or whatever. But I don't think I technically need to. I think I can fish right here. So let's try that out, actually. I know that lesser eye and small tongue will catch them here, so let's just do it right here. Oh, it doesn't actually work. Okay. So maybe you do actually have to keep going until it triggers like this. And maybe they've made it so you can't actually fish here. Yeah. 100%. just want to make sure there's nobody following me. This looks like a spot to fish. I wonder if I might have better luck in the desert, because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do have finger. All right, let's test this lesser eye feathers rotten finger combo. Man, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to the desert. I don't know why I thought this area was better, but I have a pretty good idea that it's actually kind of worse. It's good for because you need to catch phoenix fish here, I think, but I don't really think that it's a good area for doing cloakfish. You can catch them here, yes, but I don't think it's actually as good of an area to catch fish in as the desert wilds. Particularly the northwestern wilds. All right, I've got enough here that I can do. Oh, hang on a second. Never go through looking like shit. Never. Okay, so this area should actually be not too bad to get to the area that I want to fish from. Oh, it feels so good to be a strong-ass warrior. A strong-ass warrior. Okay. Yeah, so basically I'm going to be going in all the way straight through and to the left versus into the right and straight across. Those are the two different bodies of water in here. The one over there, the reason I want to go to it is because there's a chance I could catch other fish that I may not catch over there. Not necessarily that I want to, because right now all I really want is cloakfish, but I am kind of curious to see if maybe fishing in that spot when I want cloakfish is a worse idea than fishing over in that spot. So we'll head down there and have a look-see. And I still remember coming into here with DeMarzio, and I think there was a few other people with us, and I think we were like level 11, maybe not even, and just trying to get through here and see if there was maybe like a chest we could loot or something like that, and basically doing it all stealthy. And I'm still kind of let down that there isn't something in here that if you're brave enough to come in here at low level, it could really help you out. It's basically just a difficult area. Alright, so I've got the potions and the Weeping Crotto on me. Everything else, oh, I guess on all these fishing lures, but everything else is, I don't really have anything to lose, so I'm not too concerned. My host timer should be cooled down by the time I'm done fishing here, which is also very cool. Alright, so I'm at the water I want to fish in. I just want to get to a spot where I don't really need to worry too much about drawing aggro of other people. Or not other people, sorry, of aberrations and shit like that. And down here should be pretty good. Okay, so let's start with Lesser Eye, Feathers, and Rotten Finger and see what we've got for a cloakfish catch rate. Now, I don't have a whole lot of faith in this lure, just to be clear. This was somebody else's suggestion, and who knows, maybe it was a suggestion that wasn't really based on anything. But you would think the lesser eye on this one be enough to catch some fish. I got a pretty strong feeling that this lure is a complete bust. With luck rings on, and it still isn't really having much effect for me. I think I can call this one a bust. At this point, I should have at least gotten something, and I didn't, and I am halfway through the durability of it. I'm going to call that one a write-off. This one's Lesser Eye and Small Tongue. It's got a little bit of durability loss on it. But let's see if adding in the Small Tongue and removing the feathers and the Rotten Finger make a difference on this lure. I don't know, like maybe I'm in a shitty spot for catching cloakfish. Sure seems that way right now. And I know you can catch cloakfish during the day. Caught cloakfish like cotton. I've caught cloakfish pretty much any time of day. So this is pretty strange. Let's just try to find a better spot here. Oh man, it feels like this area is not really where I want to be fishing right now. I'm just not catching anything in here. Okay, well, let's try heading around to the other body of water and see how we do over there. That's pretty annoying. But might answer a question I had about whether I should fish in this body of water or that body of water when looking for cloakfish in particular. So that's cool. And might as well take that. I wasn't going to take them before, but it doesn't hurt to build up my inventory of stuff, even if I'm not really using it. I don't know if I've yet to encounter a recipe that uses crown foil either. Kind of seems like crown foil is one of those things that is only used in like a couple potions, maybe. Love me them sour bells. Alright, usually there's an aberration right along that wall. So I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be one further up here. Yep, there he is. Alright, let's try this lure that was recommended here. Got half of the durability left on it, so we got about, I don't know, 7 casts, 6 left after this one, maybe. Something like that. Finally. Finally something. Alright, well it does seem to catch the cloakfish, but that might just be the eye part of it that's working, you know? We'll see. I mean, if I catch a bunch in here, now that I know I can catch them in this spot, then I'm not ready to write off this lure completely. But what it may mean is that a component of this, such as the rotten finger or the feathers, is acting as a tertiary lure. So I have a primary and a tertiary, but no secondary. So it might be kind of interesting to see what that does. The eye component is what obviously caught the sunfish there. And I kind of feel like that's the same thing that's happening with I think tongue is probably the main cloakfish attractant, and eye is probably the secondary cloakfish attractant, and either rotten finger or feathers is the tertiary. It's kind of the feeling that I've got here. Just because I do know that eye is I'm almost positive eye is the primary. And then there's also the matter of whether or not maybe the feathers or the rotten finger is acting less as an attractant and more as a detractant. Is that a word? Detractant? It's pushing away the other fish from the lure, aside from cloakfish. I fucked that cast up, and that probably breaks this lure. Yep. Okay, so what I want to try then is eye, tongue, and feathers. Why don't we do that? And after this one, we'll try eye, tongue, rotten finger and see what kind of luck we have with that. Where are we sitting at here? We've got 2 cloakfish, so anything above 2 is what this lure is counting for. So I think we could kind of say like 4 to 6 is what that other lure would catch, which to me doesn't say optimized. Fucking sunfish. Now with this lure, I'm bound to catch some sunfish. The thing that I'm concerned about is if I only catch sunfish on this lure, that's going to be pretty annoying, and it's going to tell me that I have the wrong lure. And then we can go from there and start kind of like we've got something that works. Not bad, but not great. Ooh, 4 pounds. But we'll see. If I get up above 10 with this lure, I can easily say that it's a better lure than the last one I used. And obviously I'm extrapolating a little bit on that first lure because it was sort of fucked up from using it a little bit before in the Lucian and using it a little bit more over on the other side of the desert and not catching any fish on it. So I'm kind of extrapolating based on what I caught here with it and how much durability was left and all that jazz. So I think if I can get up above 10 fish caught, which would mean 8 on this, it's good. But I think I'm catching too many sunfish, so something's not optimized on here. And maybe it's the tongue component. I don't know. But we'll try this one, and then we'll try the rotten finger instead of the feather, and we'll see what effect that has. Because overall, all I really care about is total cloakfish caught. And I can also, if I'm a little bit stumped, I can go back and look at my book and get a little bit of an idea on what was working. I wasn't testing as thoroughly then. I was more testing like what seemingly does work and what seemingly doesn't work. And it got me close, but it didn't get me right where I need to be. Like to me, I'm just catching way too many sunfish on this lure. So I don't really think it's the right one. And I know that eye and tongue are the main ones you use to catch sunfish, like that's a for sure. I don't know what the tertiary is for it, and there's probably one that is going to help it. And if it's, say, feathers, I'm using a sunfish lure, like a perfect sunfish lure. And the only reason I wouldn't be catching all sunfish is because I am, new record, because I'm in an area that has more fish than high step. It takes forever to gain fishing XP. So what I'm thinking is if I catch about 8 to 10 cloakfish on this lure, the best I can say is that eye and feather work. So maybe it would be like eye, feather, and something other than rotten finger. Because to me, you should be able to catch around 10 fish per lure with luck rings on. If you've got the right lure, like 10 out of 15, like 2 and 3 fish that you catch should be the one that you want. And you should be catching something just about every cast. So I feel like this might be slightly better than the other one that I tried, but I don't know. I'm not really overly upset about catching a shit ton of sunfish either, because I do need a bunch. I have to build up my supply of those a little bit. Damn, new record. But we're seemingly doing a little bit better on cloakfish. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how the rotten finger does. Oh yeah. I'm fishing for vagine, the vagine fish. It is the most elusive fish. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this for a little bit, so it might be a little bit dull. But I'm going to get a silly hat out of it, so I'm pretty excited. Man, this lure seems like it is never going to break. It's crazy. I feel like I've already done 15 casts, but maybe not. Come on. It's probably going to be like a dwarf shark or something. Nah, it'll be a sunfish. It's always a sunfish when it takes a long ass time to reel it in. Yeah. Okay, there. That lure is finally broken. So what did we get? We got 3 cloakfish on this entire lure. So I can safely say that this is not the fucking lure. Let's go ahead and put that one over there. Put this one in the maybe pile, I guess. And maybe lesser eye, small tongue, and rotten finger. We'll see how that does comparatively. If it does more than 3 cloakfish, it's good. Yeah, I use what are they called? I've got the wrapping paper. I think it's from VR cover. Yeah. For the main packages for it, but yeah, it's from VR cover. It's a slightly thinner pad with a removable cover on top of that. Makes it a little bit easier to chuck them in the wash with some t-shirts or something. And this one's just about due to be changed out. I'd say the comfort level of it is about the same. It's just a lot easier to keep it clean. I find the foam ones are like, this one is a memory foam pad. It's like a thinner memory foam pad. So it feels about the same comfort wise, but it's a little bit thinner. So it kind of gives you the illusion of a wider field of view. But it's about the same comfort level. It's just more so the easier to clean. I don't think it's a perfect product, and I don't think anybody's made a perfect product, but it works, and it wasn't too expensive. I think for the pad plus a couple replacement cover things for it was like maybe like $20 or something. Wasn't too bad. Also, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep using them. I pre-ordered the Vive Pro headset yesterday for the exorbitant price of $9.99 Canadian. And I don't know if their face pads are the same face pads. I hope they are. It'll mean products are more widely available, but who knows? The head strap and all that stuff's different, so I don't know. Yeah, that's the worst part is it's just the headset. There's no controllers, no new base stations, nothing. And no wireless either. So all said and done, the Vive Pro is probably going to be at about 1,600 Canadian point, somewhere in there. Maybe not quite that much, but I don't think that the wireless is going to be cheap. I'll buy it, but it'll be begrudgingly. I am a unique part of the market called the enthusiast, who isn't going to go on Reddit and complain that the price is high despite thinking that it's fucking stupidly high. I understand why it's high though, but the thing is they're also dropping the price of the regular Vive, so you can't really knock them that much because the regular Vive is still awesome. The Vive Pro is just going to be awesomer. And to be honest, the Vive being down to 500, I think it's 500 US, is such a fucking deal because it is better than the Rift, in my opinion. Well, it has better tracking. The controllers are better on the Rift, I think. The headset's lighter, but I find the headset suits me more with the deluxe audio head strap on the Vive. And I'll take better tracking over anything else in VR. That's like my number one thing, tracking and latency. And so, you know what? When I get the wireless, I may not even like it because of the latency. And everybody says like, "Oh no, it doesn't introduce any latency," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, I'll believe it when I see it," kind of thing. Yeah, and the thing is like the wireless, if there isn't any latency issue that I notice and it doesn't degrade quality, like these are the things I've heard conflicting stuff. Like early on, people were like, yeah, it seems to degrade the quality a little bit, or it seems to have a tiny bit of latency or whatever. And then the newer reviews people have done, like tested and whatnot, say like there's no noticeable latency, it doesn't reduce the quality, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, if I can stream current Vive quality wirelessly with the Vive Pro, it's still an upgrade because I'm not going to notice the difference. But I would rather see that upgraded quality in the headset, which I am going to notice, over wireless. I can live with a cable. I've been living with a cable since I got VR. And while it sucks, it is what it is, you know? Okay, this lure sucks. Yeah, Winston, they've confirmed 500 US is what the Vive is dropping to. They announced it yesterday. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm going to say next month because that's when the Vive Pro is shipping. So it's a good time to get into VR. I would say in a couple months, it's a good time to get into VR. And who knows, they'll probably fuck over the early adopters for the Vive Pro and say, oh yeah, the package deal with the controllers and the all that jazz is cheaper than if you were to have been an early adopter. But they might do something where they're like, okay, for people who bought the Vive Pro, you can now get Lighthouse 2.0 and the new controllers and wireless for a discounted price, at which point I will say, great. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get the headset anyways, so it kind of made sense for me to just order it. And it actually lets me, it's nice because I can just drop it into my current setup and not really change anything. Basically, all I'm going to need to do, other than set up room scale again, is change my OBS inputs to the cameras off of the Vive Pro for the what's up vision. So I like that part of it. I like that the headset is backwards compatible. And I don't know. I mean, it was a lot of money, but for me, I'm putting on average like 35 hours a week into my headset. And that 35 hours a week should be good. I should get, what I'm saying is I should get my value out of it relatively quickly compared to many others who maybe only put in a few hours a week. As far as anybody making a better headset, whether it's the Pimax, I don't know how the fuck they say it. Can somebody figure that out for me? I'm really fucking curious on how I'm supposed to say that word. But the I say Pimax, but whatever. The Pimax 4K is on paper, the display is a higher quality than anything else out there, etc., etc., etc. The problem becomes not how nice of a headset you can get, how fucking great a displays you can get. Fuck, you can strap a 4K TV to your face if you want, but it's not going to have the performance. Your computer isn't going to be able to push it. And that's the issue that we're running into with VR, is that a lot of people who want to get into it are waiting for like the best product. And my advice to anybody who is waiting for the best product is make sure you've got the best computer, because you will not be able to run it if you don't. My computer's probably going to struggle to run the Vive Pro. More so than it is anyways, like now. Like, basically, like, currently I'm running with... Actually, one sec. Okay, so this lure is garbage. Lesser eye, small tongue, rotten finger is shit. That's going in the junk pile. Man, I guess we try lesser eye, small tongue, and eye worm. I don't think that's going to be it, though. I'm going to catch fucking sharks on that. I don't really want to do that one. Let's try with the small tooth. So what I'm saying is, right now, with my current setup, I've got 2 wicked GPUs overclocked, and I'm running my super sampling as high as I possibly can without affecting my stream or jittering in game or anything like that. I could maybe tick it up a tiny little bit more because they've optimized this game a little bit more, but I'm still like, I'm pushing everything to the limit, and it's okay. It's not like amazing or anything, but it looks good. With the new displays, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to drop my super sampling down. So technically, what I'm seeing is going to have more resolution, but it's not going to have more super sampling, and super sampling is what really makes VR pop. In games that are really well optimized, you can run that super sampling quite high and get like some really, really crazy good results, to the point that you don't even see the screen door effect because of how detailed everything else is. And with the Vive Pro, I'm probably going to have to sacrifice on a lot of that. Hey, that worked better. I honestly, Mark, I would wait. I would wait until the headset you want is out, see what their recommended specs are, and then go so far above them to make it worthwhile. And yeah, I'm in the desert wilds. I'm just basically doing some experimenting. I need to catch cloakfish, but I don't really know which lure I need to be using, and I'm getting kind of mixed data here, so I'm basically just trying to get... This kind of seems to be working good. Fuck, I might have just discovered the trick. I might end up replacing tongue for feather, though. Eye, tooth, and feather would be cool. Oh, I gotta try that out. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a... We're kind of at one of those points where the technology isn't keeping up, or the technology in the headsets is going to surpass what the computers can run. It's kind of the, as I call it, the Star Citizen problem. Chris Roberts, when he announced that they were building Star Citizen, he didn't announce that they were building it for last gen when they started. He didn't announce that they were building it for this gen. He announced that he was building it for like when the game releases. So the game is not going to be optimized for anybody until graphics cards that can keep up with it are coming out. And that's the obviously the joy of being able to design for something in the future when you've got the money to do that. But I mean, VR has currently been running on the same hardware effectively for like 3 years. And that hardware is finally being caught up to by the graphics cards. I mean, if you're running a single 1080 Ti, you're struggling to push a Vive. That's just the simple truth of it. So while I do want to see better and better and better in VR, I mean, I'm a gadget guy. I love that shit. While I do want to see all of that, I don't really know that we need it yet. If you're not in the enthusiast sector, you don't need it because you can't even use it. So, well, and that's kind of the thing too, is like VR needs to succeed now. It doesn't need to succeed in years. And I think the Vive Pro, the other thing about it is, while I don't like HTC's support, I do like Valve's, and Valve obviously cares a lot more about HTC than the Rift or any of the Windows mixed reality stuff. So it's a safe bet for future-proofing myself. Whereas something like the Pimax, I mean, it's like, what am I really gaining and what am I really losing? And what I'm really losing is ongoing support. Like, who knows if they're even going to be successful in becoming a company with this product. Anyone in the tech industry would probably tell you that the worst thing you can do as a tech startup is be a hardware company. There's a reason why most hardware-based technology Kickstarters fail, and it's because gadgets aren't cheap to make. You have to QC things. If you want to make it to be a worldwide product, you got to meet all kinds of standards and regulations and testing and stuff. I backed some trackers on Kickstarter years ago. Like, I'm talking like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, they came out roughly the same time as the original Rift Kickstarter came out. And they still haven't shipped. And it's not because they quit. It's not because they're like, whatever. They've been doing so much testing and so much quality control and whatever that they've burned through 3 years of money just testing and getting these products like to meet global standards. And once they've done that, yeah, that's great. They can ship and stuff. But in the meantime, they've got to like eat through all those funds to do it. And yeah, I don't know. It's a risky endeavor. And having been actually burned on Kickstarter before, that's what really turned me off of it in the first place. I mean, I could have backed it day one if I wanted to. And for the price, yeah, it sounds good. But you know what it also does? It sounds too good to be true. You know, it's like there's no way that they can make that product at that price for a profit. Like, there's a lot of things that have overhead and markup on them, but I don't really think VR headsets really do. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm jaded. I'm just a little bit more realistic about VR because I know what my computer can handle with it, and my computer is no slouch by any means. So I think the biggest thing is people are often going to be, okay, so we got 5 on that. So that is easily the most efficient one we've used so far. These ones are just lesser iron, small tongue. So why don't we try those and see what we get? We got 5 on this one. These are, wait, is this my no-go pile? Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the go pile. I'm gonna say this one was the most effective. So what do we do? Maybe change tongue for feather? Feather was more effective. Or was rotten finger? Neither of them really were great. We'll have to do some more testing there. I don't think this is going to be the lure I want. It's going to catch too many fucking sharks. So let's just go with this and see what happens. So if I catch any more than 5, lesser iron small tongue is still the better bet. check my durability, make sure that's the one I want. Yes, it is. Whoa. But I will also say that despite my realism, I'm also excited and enthusiastic about what the future can bring with VR. There's a lot of stuff that still needs a lot of gaps in the market that still need to be filled. There needs to be, in my opinion, more integration with exercise equipment. There needs to be trackers that can be used for things like treadmills, like simple things like, and I don't really think that they need to do anything too crazy with it. Oh, it's Eris. How's it going, man?
I was just trying to see if I could sneak up on you.
No dice. No dice. So, what lures did you bring out here? Hey, what lures did you bring out here?
Just and a whole bunch of different stuff like, what's it called? Blue scale and small tooth?
Yeah.
Blue scale, small tooth, and feather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm getting mixed results out here, so I'm not really sure what the best bet is, but I've got some ideas now and a little bit more information, so hopefully I can look at my spreadsheets and whatnot and fill in some blanks here.
It's actually a pretty good spot. I didn't see you until I was almost on top of you.
Yeah, that's kind of why I picked this spot. Oh, and Winston, have you seen that full tracker suit? It's like a haptic and tracker suit that oh, what is the company called? They've got a name that sort of incorporates it in, but it's a full like neck down suit, and it uses heat, cooling, and I want to say like haptic vibration stuff all over the body and it includes gloves in it and whatever. And I signed up to like be notified if there's any like testing on it or whatever, but it was on Reddit a while ago. It was making the rounds, but it's kind of one of those companies that they made a proof of concept drawing and they might have even made a prototype suit sans the actual parts that work, but there's no like demos of it being used, and it's not like Tested got their hands on it and made a video on it or anything. It was just something that like as far as I know, it could just be like a concept drawing, but while it's such a cool idea, it's kind of one of those things that I'm like, do I really want to put on a like skin tight suit while I'm gaming? I don't know. I mean, I throw some shorts over top of it, I guess, but it's kind of weird. And I don't know that enough games would take advantage of the haptics to make it worthwhile. But if they were like, yo, we made this full haptic suit and you can use it with Orbus, and the Orbus devs were like, yeah, we've got one in-house and it's awesome, and we've been designing all kinds of stuff for it, I would be all over it. You know, like regardless of price, that's like some crazy next level VR shit. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what the haptics and trackers and stuff come out with in the next little while. But I mean, there was there was haptic gloves that were shown on Kickstarter 3 years ago, and the Kickstarter either failed to meet its goal, which was exorbitant and like way too high, or it was successful, and then they basically took the money and ran. I don't know, but I definitely haven't seen anybody wearing them haptic gloves, so my guess is probably for the latter. And like the trackers and stuff that I've backed on Kickstarter over the years, they like they've made like controllers and shit like that, and it's like the problem right now in VR isn't controllers, it's that or isn't like the type of controller, it's that there is controllers. You know, like you have to have controllers for the modern gamer or whatever. That's just sort of something you need. You need an interface between you and the game, which is relatively inexpensive because you're probably going to break it. But the problem is that controllers don't really feel natural. My hand starts to cramp because I'm holding this side button while I'm reeling, and it works. It's an interface that helps me feel like I'm in the game, but this is not how I reel a fishing rod. And you could say that, okay, that's like the dev's choice to use the side grips instead of the trigger for reeling. But even that, like, I don't really feel like the trigger is natural either. It's like there's a pinch thing, like, that you can't do in VR. You can't do like minute pinches like that. And that's what it would take to feel real on the reel. Where did my lure go? So that's kind of the problem with having a controller in your hand, is you lose a lot of that fine tuning. I mean, it's the same reason why people like playing on PC with a mouse and keyboard. You have a level of precision that you just don't on a standard like Xbox controller or something. So I don't know. I don't really know what the best answer is for, like, a haptic glove has its limitations as well, and that you have to design everything to be picked up and whatever. And I think the thing with that is, like, sometimes you just want something to auto hold in your hand. You don't want to have to walk around holding things all the time. And while it would feel more natural and less like stress on your hand, you still would have to walk around like this in game, like you're holding a torch and stuff. And eventually your hand would just get tired, you know, and you just want to go like this. And I can do that in this because I can click auto run or whatever, you know? So there's definitely limitations no matter which way you go. My mustache is tickling my face. The pinball? Not yet. I haven't played it yet. I have it on order. It's I don't know, probably still a couple months out, but who knows. I was gonna trade my Game of Thrones to a guy for Simpsons Pinball Party, and he backed out at the last minute, claiming he didn't talk to his wife, and it was too much money for him to spend, according to his wife. I was like, whatever, man. Alright. None of these lures are really doing what I want them to do. It's funny because we had a couple new people join League, and they're solid people, but they're just learning pinball. And the one guy's telling me, because they got that one set up in the Trap in Calgary, and they went to play it, and he was like, "Oh, I really didn't like it. You know, it's like really like it just drains your ball so fast, and like you know the ball times were really short and stuff." And it's like my thoughts on this pin right from the get go were that it would be a terrible location pin as a player because you're gonna dump money into that thing like nothing. But for home use, it'll be awesome because it's the perfect game to have like a quick multiplayer game on and not feel like you're stuck playing for hours. Like when I play with my girlfriend, if when I had my Lord of the Rings, like my ball time would be like 15 minutes, and then hers might end up being like a couple minutes. But I'm really looking forward to it. And maybe one day my alien will ship as well. I hope Tommy shows up with it to Yagpin. Currently 6. I've got my Judge Dredd and my Tales of the Arabian Nights down here, and my Tales of the Arabian Nights is pretty well restored to like a collector's edition. And upstairs I've got a Star Trek LE, Game of Thrones Premium, which I want to sell, and the Hobbit LE, and a Dialed In LE. And Dialed In probably gets played the most. Star Trek's fun, but I'm probably going to sell it just to make space. It's had a good run. I guess we could do pin night here. It's kind of like it's kind of tough having a pin night if you don't have like a decent amount of machines, but I think I've got like just enough. Problem is up until this point, like my Tales of the Arabian Nights wasn't really fully working, and right now I just got an order back, so I'm going to change the ramps on it, and that's like the last thing I need to do aside from cabinet, but I don't even know if I'm going to do that. And then my Judge Dredd constantly has issues with it, just because of the crane issue in the Dead World mod. It's kind of a finicky game, but I finally kind of have it tweaked to where it needs to be. I just need to put in an external power supply for the LED stuff in there. That game, I guess, was kind of drawing a lot right from the factory, and it's still drawing even more. So I've got like a pin sound in there, pin stadium lights. I've got a lighted speaker panel. I've got lighted speakers. I've got lighted flipper buttons. I've got a lighted shooter rod. I've got all kinds of shit in there. So it's like it's a little bit on the extreme side. But upstairs is all good. My main problem is I don't have a big enough area in there. I can only have 4 at a time. So every time a deal comes up, I'm like, wish I had more space. Yeah, I do. I think that's a pretty reasonable assessment. My Judge Dredd is actually probably my favorite. It's probably the one pin I won't ever sell, just because of how awesome it is. I made an entirely custom Outrun soundtrack for it, and actually my the main theme in it is actually what I use for my background music. It's Fight to the Top by Laserhawk. But yeah, I went through and I changed all the music out in it, and some of the sound effects I kind of reworked a little bit, and Yeah, it's got some of the best art of like a 90s pin. Maybe I'll have a pin day on stream. That'd be pretty fun. I feel like Twitch is kind of starting to get a little bit too swamped with pinball people. And I'm not exactly like an amazing player. I'm just like an okay player. As far as like pop-out comparison goes, I mean, I'm better than the average person, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and the thing is I feel like most of the pinball oriented shows on Twitch are a little bit more like they're much better players and they've got their setup all dialed in and everything. So what happened to my lure? What's going on here? Oh man, it bugged out. All right, one sec. Yeah, league's been going on for a little bit now. I would say we kind of changed format too. So now it's like you play 2 sessions, and those 2 sessions count as like one sort of like grouping, I guess. I'm not sure what they call it. It's like it's basically like 2 events make 1 event, and we play every 2 weeks now. So it's a lot more frequent, that's for sure. But it's also a lot more random, and we've got like 38 people in the league now, so it's like you rarely even play with the same people in a night, which is cool. And I mean, sometimes you have good nights, sometimes you have shitty nights. But league is so much better than it used to be. Where it's just like, cross your fingers you don't get paired with Derek. And just basically spend the entire night waiting for Derek to finish his round. Yeah, he did change things again, but it is for the better, I think. Fuck, I gotta almost be done with this. What am I at here? 14. I think I've got the rest of those at the house, but I'll finish fishing out this lure and then we'll call that good, and then I'll get on to doing something that doesn't suck. But I'm pretty stoked because I've got the minnow section of this totally dialed in on what is going to catch them like a beast. But cloakfish, I'm still struggling a little bit. There is some stuff I'm still trying to parse in what I've got here, but I think the information that Decoy had, I should be able to look at that and basically decipher from that what I have right and what I have wrong. Ideally, I would be catching 8 to 10 cloakfish on the lure if it's like the right 3-piece lure. So, yeah. Come on, cloakfish. Shit. Oh, hang on a second. My audio was down a little bit. Say that again?
I said, do you want to know what the next quest after that one is?
Probably something terrible.
Spoilers or no spoilers?
No spoilers. I'll be heading there in a second. It's probably going to be heinous. It's probably going to be like catch like 50 clownfish. Something pretty brutal like that, I imagine. But I don't mind doing it. It's kind of one of those things that like I can't do it. I can't do it all day, but I can do it for quite a while because I do like the fishing in this game. And I think part of what I'm really drawn to is just like chasing after like the perfect combination of lure. That's like the most satisfying part of the fishing for me.
Right.
And it's nice when you're only going after one fish because you can be like, oh, okay, like I can bring out this combination of lures and this one and see which one works best.
If you need a couple extra cloak fish, I will hook you up.
I should be good. I think I've got almost all the ones I need, plus I've got a few left at the house, so thankfully I was able to make it through with these lures, but none of them are the right lure, that's for sure.
I'm selling package deals for the fish quests right now.
Nice. I think the eels I should be able to catch no problem. I've got all the jungle data I need to, because that's where I was doing my segment of the fishing. So I think I've got all the data I need for eels. So those ones should go pretty quick, but it's all the other areas that are a little bit of a hassle.
I also got a whole bunch of fishing potions if you need any.
Oh, I wish you would have came by about 30 minutes ago. I used the one in the jungle because I was like, I wanted to test definitively whether or not it was going to give me more of all kinds of fish or just more of like what the lure is attracting. And it kind of seems like it goes just for more of what the fuck's sakes, dwarf shark. The fuck out of here. All right, I think I've got enough of them anyways. Shit, that was a not bad lure either. All right, one of those four has the secrets I need. Yeah, and it kind of seems like the fishing potions are just, they increase what your lure is doing. So, you know, if you've got the perfect lure setup, yeah, I think you can catch 15 of them on one lure. I think you could catch a fish every single time. So,
yeah, almost every time with a regular potion, every time with the age potion.
oh man, that's crazy good. Okay, I'm gonna head back to the house and turn in this quest. I'll probably see you in a little bit.
All right.
Okay. Let's get out of this weakling garb. My voice disabled in game so I don't get ganked. No, you can't make your egg pin. You can't work in a single day over a weekend to come and place a pinball. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't bullshit me. Don't bullshit me. Ooh, who's that? Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Spyro. Oh no, it's Aeon.
No,
Aeon, what's up?
what's going on, man? Hey, which die is that one?
I'm not muted. You're muted.
Oh, am I muted? I shouldn't be muted. Can you hear me now?
We may want to step back a few, Aeon. You're about to get walked in on it by Kelpie.
Huh. I don't know what is
I
up with
shouldn't
the.
have said anything. You're
Yeah.
the guide. I'd have taken your stuff and I could walk out.
I'm not sure what's up with the voice chat. Can you hear me at all?
I'm not hearing you. Do I have?
Hmm.
No. I got my voices on high.
Wonder if he has me muted.
More
Oh.
bugs with the new update.
Yeah.
Welcome to Orbus.
Yep.
All right, you have a good one.
See it. Oh, that's annoying. They've really kind of. They said they fixed the voice, and I think they've made some fixes with it. But it's not totally fixed. Oh, damn. Yeah, I can see going to Vegas for that. That'd be pretty reasonable. All right. Please tell me I've got him. Oh my god, I don't. I'm short one fucking fish. On the upside, I got a shit ton of sunfish today. All right, I'm gonna just go and buy one cloakfish. Can't believe I'm short one. It's ridiculous. What else am I kind of running short on? I don't know.
That works a lot of the time.
Oh wow.
You gotta draw a circle in the top of it. Oh, but you don't actually need the circle. You can just draw.
There we go. 220 works for me. Good to go. Well, I mean, if you want my advice, it's that you should probably get the game because it's fucking awesome. I'm like, honestly, like, I'm at the point where I've like done like most of everything in the game. So there's lots of stuff that I've spent a lot of time today fishing when I could be doing other things, but 1400 dram for that. That's nice. Parathimian god of the sea. Oh yeah, hat to keep the sun off my neck. Yeah, boy. Why can't I see it on my character? Why can't I see my silly hat? I want to see my silly hat. Son of a bitch. Oh, it's because I don't have my fishing rod equipped. There we go. You have a silly hat. Okay. Head to the township of Fisherman's Crust and fill your basket with ridgebacks. Okay, ridgebacks. This is probably going to be an absurdly large quest. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is a biggie woof. Oh, fucking hell, there's a lot of fish on there. Jesus Christ. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. Alright. Let's go into town looking good in our silly hat. Yeah, I don't know. I'll honestly say that this is the best game that's out there for VR. I've tried like a solid 70% of the VR games that have ever been released. I played a lot of them, and the majority of them they're like a couple hours of fun, you know? There's not much that really gives me like long-term joy in VR. They're good, but they don't hold my attention the way that an RPG does. All right. I want to go in my house and put all this shit away. What do I have for... I must have like a lot of fish for this quest. All right, let's see. Minnows, no. Green-bellied bass, yes. Catfish, damn near. Axolotl. Fuck, I gotta catch a lot of axolotls. The ridgebacks, I've got almost all of them, though. No, I do have all of them. I've got all of the ridgebacks I need, so this quest isn't too bad. So I really only need to catch the 25 axolotl and the 40 minnows and, like, 2 catfish. I got a shit ton of bass, so that's fucking great. Those ones were going to be the worst ones. The minnows, I've got a perfect fucking thing for them, so I can knock that out within, like, I don't know, not that long. That's what I was testing today, basically. Like, right here, that is the perfect lure for minnows. So that, combined with luck rings, combined with a potion, I'm going to knock that one out super quick. The only reason that one's going to take a long time is because there's 40 of them. So I need to use 3 lures, and in a perfect world, those 3 lures will be enough, but I'll bring 4. I'm not going to do any of this today, by the way. Green-bellied bass, I'm good on. Catfish, I'll probably catch those by accident while catching the minnows. I don't know. Axolotls, those are going to be a little bit tricky. I still haven't figured out the third part of those, but blue scales and small tooth I think is pretty much legit. Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a minute to just pop these down in here. I know that there's some truth to some of these, and I'm just not sure what it is. They've all kind of worked a little bit. I know the lesser eye is the major component here. I don't know. Maybe this fish just is much harder to catch. I'm not sure. Hang on. Let's see what our hat looks like. If we log out, is it going to show the hat? Or is it going to show me as a warrior? Oh, this thing's fucking stupid. Oh, I love it. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do any more fishing today. I'm fucking burned out on fishing now. How long did I spend on that? Ugh, too many hours. Okay, so what I want to do is put that down there and put that silly hat down there. Put that up there. Throw that on there, and we'll put that down there and put that down there. Or no, wait, maybe we'll put all of these up here. Yeah. That's good. Okay, so, and change these out. Cool. Okay, so we are decked out to do good stuff now. Do some fighting and whatnot. Fighting and drinking around the world. People doing world boss in the desert. I don't really want to do that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go grab a drink, fill up my water, and I'm gonna quickly check the discords and see if there's any groups together right now that are doing anything in particular, and maybe just join in on one of those groups. If there's people farming aberrations, I think that's the one I really want to do. I need to get bloody flesh and shiny metal for fishing lures, and those are actually also quite valuable as well, so I wouldn't mind picking those up. Plus, doing aberrations, I'm going to get some dyes and stuff, so that'll be a pretty solid choice. I'm also down to do the keepers, and realistically, I'd do any of the Tradu mines now at this point. So, okay, I will be right back, and then we'll jump into doing some killing. Okay, so I had a look around. There seems to be a bunch of people working on stuff. Replied to Avenger QT. That was the guy that I was playing with yesterday. He's a fresh 20, but I see that. Whoa now. I see that in the Discord channel. He's in there with Nitro and Hosk and stuff. So I'm just waiting to see if they do still need somebody or if they got somebody coming. But yeah, we might be able to work something out doing that with Tradu runs. Otherwise, there's a couple people here. There's a few more people in the alphabet group that probably have a run going currently. Usually when there's about 6 or 7 people in the channel, there's somebody waiting to take the spot of another person or whatever.
Sorry. Hey, you wanna do the world boss with us? Trying to get a group.
Which world boss?
The worm.
Oh, okay.
He's there.
Maybe.
Said.
Aeon, did you kill people again?
No, never.
Did you kill people again?
No. No way.
I don't believe you
Hey,
for a
Eris.
second.
Oh, thank you very much, dude. I should throw that in my basement to age it. Can you hear me, X-Slayer?
Hey, we're doing world boss. The worm.
You go.
Yeah, it does decent if you charge it off.
Man, the in-game voice is bugged.
Maybe.
Well, I'm gonna throw these fish scent detractors. Ugh. I'm gonna throw these fish scent detractors into age with my other ones that are aging. And I don't know if you heard me in game, but thank you, Eris. That's super, super cool of you. It's nice to have. Yeah, these ones gotta go in there, I guess. It's nice to have people willing to chip in the game to make things go a little bit smoother. Okay, so I don't have a reply from him. I don't really want to do the world boss. That seems like what they were doing out there. I'm just gonna hop into the Discord channel with them. Oh, I see they've already lost somebody, so maybe I won't do that. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and make an LFG post. Add new listings. Dungeons, try to healer and DPS. And I'm gonna head out there.
You get failings with deaths. You can also fail with a...
And I will see if... Oh, there's decoy. Where did he go?
Something like that, huh?
It's a little bit longer than that.
Okay, I am gonna head over. Voice chat is fucked. Man, that's annoying. I might have to log out and log back in to see if I fix voice chat. Yesterday it was working fine. Day before it was working fine. But today, after the most recent patch, it is not working fine. So I don't know. We'll see. Eris, if you're around, do you wanna join for Tradu? I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but depending on what group we get, we probably do something pretty awesome. I'd like to try and get Tank Keeper done. That'd be a fun one to do.
Oh, hi, Jimmy Dingus.
Did you say Jeremy Dungus? Who the fuck is Jeremy Dungus? I like this lonely guy sitting at the table by himself. He's just like, no one knows what it's like. What are you eating, nerd? Make sure my group is still up. Yeah. Come on. There we go. Pretty sure I sent that invite to Jesus Cat.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
My voice chat's been so buggy all day, and I always have to ask whether or not. Do you want to hop into a
Been having
Discord?
issues? Sure.
Which one you want to do? You want to do Alphabet or Orbis Unofficial or whatever?
Let's hop in Orbis Unofficial.
'Kay.
But let's see. Can we get some more people here? Who's online? Well, it seems like there's a couple hours where it's hard to find anybody. you happen to know where you respec
Oh.
your talents?
Sorry, 1 second. Just got a rune mage to join us.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't tried with Tradu with the ones I went with, but I went for the entire DPS side of the tree. So I figured before I had no problems doing it without any talents. So to just be basically adding in DPS, but I may end up changing out my tier 2 to basically it makes it so instead of my shield bash increasing my damage, it'll increase the whole group's damage.
Ah, I got you.
And then there's also I'm debating whether or not it's worth it, but you can switch from having Sword Rush giving increased critical strike to it having 2 charges and being able to rush to allies, which might be really beneficial. I mean, I've got a couple potions with me, so if it's not working as good as I want it to, we can switch those up. So shouldn't be too big of a deal.
Nice. I think you do it in Guild City, and I'm guessing it costs 500 dram, is what I've heard.
Yeah, you go to the person you buy the deeds from and whatnot, and it's a potion that costs 500 dram. So you can carry a few of them, and then you can try out what works and what doesn't.
Oh, it's a potion. Nice,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Are they tradable?
Let me check. Yep. If you want, I'll sell one to you. I've got 2 of them.
Dude, I would love one. Yeah. Can I pay a little bit extra on top?
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. So they're 500 each?
Yeah.
Let me throw in at least 600 dram here. Appreciate it, man.
And no worries. That's partly why I bought 2 of them, because I was like, I'm either going to make some changes and then regret it, or I'm going to be... Oh, I got another rune mage. Axis.
Totally. Dude, you could make serious bank selling these to people just like at Trading Minds.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's not worth the walk.
All right, so we've got 2 roommates. We need a healer. I'm just gonna modify the listing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, can you be fine?
What's I gonna do? Oh yeah.
So I feel like I missed some tutorial where you learn about runes.
It's honestly just like a lot of experimentation, to be honest. Because I spent, like, you can, if you want, you can look up my videos on YouTube or on Twitch, but the gist of it is basically you find somebody who plays the exact same way as you. This is the easiest way to do it. Find somebody who plays the exact same way as you, same class and all that jazz, and then get them to drink a runic sight potion. And then basically what that does is it makes runes show up above their head. So then you watch what they're doing, and there's runes for, there's like 3 or 4 different runes for speed. There's the runes that actually identify what you're doing, like poison arrow or whatever. And so you basically come up with a combo of things you do in fighting, like that you normally do, and then you make tile sets out of those. And basically what that does is when you equip it on gear, while you're doing those things, once you've done that set of runes, it'll automatically proc some extra damage for you. It's not a substantial amount, but it is a little bit. And then then the actual rune recipes to make the runes themselves, you drink an Ithacak potion, and you'll need a lot of them, but they're all over the world. They're scattered all over the world. But if you do want to look into doing it, just send me a message, and I can give you. Actually, I think Decoy probably made the most comprehensive list of them. So if you're a member of the community, just look into the information section in the Discord. And in there's a bunch of information about it. It's honestly like
I absolutely know nothing about it, so
yeah.
that's a good synopsis.
In my opinion, it's not It's not necessary, but if you feel like your character is like top tier end game level, you might as well do it because it's something to do
They're
anyways.
They're gear bound.
Yeah, and you can only put the same one in each slot. Like if you have any questions about it before spending any materials or anything doing it, just let me know because I spent probably a solid like 15 hours on it one week.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And Eris knows a ton about it as well. Decoy knows lots about it. If Ginger's online, Ginger knows quite a bit about it. There's like a handful of people that know quite a bit about it. Jay, actually, you know what? If you know who Jay is, he's a ranger and he's got his stuff set up as well. So he could probably just tell you what you should build out if you don't want to spend a ton of time on it.
Badass, man. I will have to add you as a friend here.
Yep.
So, can I ask, why are you still doing Trader Minds? It looks like you have full max gear already.
My main reasons are the new quest you get out there that requires you to kill like everything like 15 or 30 times. That one, and I also want to get. Hey, how's it going? I also want to get more keeper fragments. Ideally, I'd really like to do tank keeper today. Just because I haven't actually ever. I haven't beaten that one since the.
One last time because I've already done it.
Okay, cool.
Keeper fragments?
Yeah, so basically, okay, so in the next major update, I think it's the next major one, they're adding in another world boss, and that world boss requires one of each of the fragments. So basically, the second boss, like the tank keeper, potion keeper, mist keeper, and soul keeper, you need one of each of their fragments to unlock that world boss. So
Gotcha. I've got all the same fragment here. I assume there was just one type. Makes sense though.
Yeah, I think each boss drops their own. So
Yeah.
and I mean I'm still looking for a good roll on some gauntlets. In my gauntlets. You need Soul Keeper? I think everybody needs Soul Keeper. Soul Keeper's a nightmare. We can't do Soul Keeper unless we have 2 tanks and a healer though, so hopefully we get a healer. So if anybody knows a healer that's online that would join us, shoot him a message. Also, I'm in the General 1 Discord on the unofficial Discord. I don't know. I mean, the voice chat seems pretty stable now, but...
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll hop in there if we have some issues or if everybody's on. Sweet, man. Sweet, dude.
Yep.
So have you played around with the ranger talents at all?
I looked through them all yesterday. I didn't decide on any of them except for my warrior class because I didn't want to commit to anything right away until I'm like actively playing it that day. But I went over all of them and got a pretty good idea of how I'd build out each of the subclasses. I mean, most of them are pretty self-explanatory as to which route you should take based on how you play. I mean, there's always that toss off on certain ones whether you want to benefit the party or yourself. And I think there could be some really interesting kind of like, I hate the word synergy, but like synergy builds with like a whole party working together with their perks to make like some serious buffs happen.
Yeah. What the hell? They changed multi-shot. It's no longer multi-shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they must have just changed that today.
Yeah.
Multi-shot. Every time you fire an arrow, you have a chance for your arrow to become empowered and deal additional base damage. No longer talks about firing an additional arrow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Huh. It was badass. Yesterday was procking like crazy.
Yeah.
I had, I think my highest crit was like a 27,500
I felt like so powerful for the first time as a warrior yesterday. I was like almost soloing aberrations. Like it felt real good. And I mean, that was like I went into the wilds with a fresh 20 wizard, and me and him were able to take on aberrations, which is crazy.
No kidding. I've honestly not done aberrations. I know they're like the end game kind of
Hmm.
sub boss monsters, but I don't know. The gear and trade is better, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Tradu gear is basically the best gear you can get. But I mean, like, I'm wearing my desert helm still because it's a perfect roll. And a perfect roll on this is only slightly worse than the Tradu helm. And I like the way this helm looks better. So,
Totally. It's all about how it looks, not about how it
absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it white just because it's dyeable?
Well, I don't think the
I
new
didn't
boss is
realize.
going to have way better gear. I think what the new boss is going to have is a cape and either a luck ring or a wisdom focused ring. I don't know. Oh fuck, I hope that's what it is. I'm just crossing my fingers, man. Yeah, I still haven't gotten any replies from let's see.
Let's see.
Oh, what the hell? My listing came down for some reason. There we go. Now it's back up. No wonder I didn't get any replies.
Milkman looking for men to do fishing in trading mines.
It's funny.
So who's getting the Vive Pro?
I got mine pre-ordered.
You seriously do?
Yeah. $4 million. It was so expensive.
Jesus.
It was so expensive.
Oh man, girlfriend and I just bought a house, so that might have to go on the back burner.
Yeah. I think it was $9.99 Canadian. I don't know what the US price was, but that's what my Canadian price. I think overall the final price was like 1,016 or something like that.
So the base stations.
No base stations, no controllers, no wireless, just the headset. Unbelievable. All I can say is they better give me a discount. Well, they haven't released them yet. So the headset's backwards compatible. So you can basically just swap out your current headset to link box. You swap out that section for the new headset and link box. And
if you don't have a headset.
Well, then you would just wait, I guess. But it's basically meant as an upgrade for current Vive users. But then later on in the year, they're going to release the new lighthouses, which aren't backwards compatible, as well as the new controllers. And I imagine they're going to have
So which one's better for the wilds, Ranger or Wizard?
Ranger, in my opinion.
That's what I thought.
I don't think they've announced actually what their plans are, but they have announced that they are going to release a new one. They haven't put out the plans for it yet. I think my problem is Oculus needs to change their tracking solution. It uses way too many USB ports. That's the biggest appeal. The biggest appeal of the Vive is that you use like one USB and one HDMI.
Are you playing on laptop?
No, but like, I mean, you need like for a four tracker setup with the Rift, which is like optimal, and the touch controllers and all that jazz. You need 5 USB 3.0 ports. That's absurd.
I don't know. I mean, I honestly haven't had an issue with it. That's like my one, probably least concern is the USB port number.
I mean, you can always, if you've got free PCI slots, you just throw in some new ones. But, I mean, a dedicated VR computer is one thing, too. I think a lot of people also have other crap hooked into their computer that uses USB ports. But it's a pretty minor complaint, but it's a thing. And at the end of the day, honestly, like, once they're set up, everything works, and you're just like, whatever. You don't even think about it. You just play the games. So...
Yeah.
Whatever works. And it's hard.
Disappointed that Oculus isn't coming out with their new headset, though.
Well, and the other thing
PC headset.
too is that they with the Vive Pro, they also announced that the regular Vive's price is dropping to $499 US, which is crazy good. So
So it sounds like you're on Oculus right now. Is that right?
no, I'm on a Vive.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't have base stations or anything.
No, I have all that stuff. I currently use Vive, and I'm just upgrading the headset next month.
Gotcha.
Or whenever it ships. They said it would ship April, but I don't know. That might mean starting to ship in April and continuing to ship over the whole summer. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're not getting that until June.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath
That's how
that
it
it'll
goes.
be here in April. So I wonder. We'll probably still take too much damage. Yeah, we're gonna need a healer.
Well, I can go Musketeer if we want to just roll with it.
Why don't you switch to level 6 Musketeer? I don't know if that one's gonna cut it.
Does that not count?
Hey, Axis, can you just say something real quick?
Yeah, what do you need?
Okay,
Oh, there we go.
I think that worked.
All right, so we can't find a healer. Oh man, let's see.
I just don't
Who's
like.
a healer? Milkman a healer?
Crazy's a healer, but she's in a group. Scariot
Probably
is
running
a
it right now.
yeah, she is. Scariot's a tank. I don't know if he has an alt. Quantum is running it, I think. Airbag it is in that same group, I think. I don't know. Yeah, the only one I have on that I know. Carly might be. Hang on a second.
Yeah, I think she's fishing.
I'm not too sure. Who is that? All right, hang on a second. I'm just gonna check some of the Discord channels real quick.
I don't know how you can do that with the circle. I don't even use the circle when I do my shortcut.
Yeah. You can do it just as fast, your method. You just gotta make it a bit smaller.
I just can't chain cast it, and sometimes I fail twice in a row, which doesn't work very well when you're trying to like actually do DPS.
Ooh, that was a fail. Ah. What makes you feel better? I just got it down today, like not even an hour ago.
Yeah, it's a hard spell to master.
Yeah. I've got Frost 3 down though.
The hell?
Can shoot arrows.
There's like 15 people in the alphabet looking for group channel, but I'm pretty sure they're all actually in parties.
Mm.
This is crazy.
What's sad is you'd probably obliterate me in PvP every time.
Holy shit! How do you do that? With that? Yeah, that right there.
It's a secret.
Teach, teach me. Then
Oh
I
god,
can
my
run a
finger's tired.
macro, just spamming like the trigger button on one hand, just machine gun that shit.
That's actually really smart. Yeah. Do you have any? Oh, I wonder. Could you macro? Could you macro?
Yeah,
You
could you
probably
macro
could.
your trigger button and then put it in the right decision and just like shoot it so fast that the damage can't doesn't even matter anymore.
Hmm.
Interesting.
One thinks about it.
If I
I know
hold my
because
wand
there
like
are
this, it kind of
there is
feels like a
software out there
dagger.
that can override your triggers into different buttons. I want to see if there's software out there that can macro pressing certain buttons.
Hmm.
I mean, I could check that later if I can see if I can look that up. I'll figure that out later. I know you can't macro movement, but you can macro click, which would help a lot.
Wow, they've definitely bugged out the voice chat. I've got access when we were in the Discord channel. That's why I popped out. I couldn't get you to mute in game, so it was just
Sorry, here, let me
doubling.
turn off
No,
your
no, no,
volume.
no, no. It's okay because they weren't in, so it wouldn't have made a difference. But there's all today. I've had like times where like my voice isn't transmitting even though it should, and like now I've got like I can't mute even though I should be able to. Like, ugh, I need to do another hot fix.
Yeah, I do.
I haven't seen it cut out yet, though.
Yeah, it has been stable. When it's working, it is very stable. I'm gonna walk around and see if there's anyone else in here sitting around.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
I'm starting to get my angle right every time.
Hey, there is. Okay, well, it's
I know
gonna be
that we are
tricky.
trying to do trade mines, but I assume you're not in the mood for that.
Too much noise over there. All right. Let's have another look through here. I know Crazy's in a party, and that's pretty much it. Crazy and Carly are like the only two like main musketeers that I know. I think everyone else who used to be one has either stopped playing or whatever. So, it's gonna be tricky to put this group together. I could easily do. Sentry if we were short a player, but we had a musketeer. We're in a tricky position though. Just gonna quickly relog. I'll be right back. All right. This is not where I want to be. Yeah. Without my hat on, he looks like a 50-year-old baked Asian man. Oh my god, it's gonna keep doing this, isn't it? I'm just gonna be hovering up in the air for fucking ever. When I logged out, it put me hovering above the lake over Old Kingsport. That's cool. Alright, Carly's headed to the wild, so we can't even find somebody. Shit. I might have to do wilds. What time is it? 5:43. I don't have a shit ton of time. Maybe wilds is the better bet. Do 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 do. Oh. Yep. I hear you. All right, man. Take it easy. All right. Well, I know that Carly's out in the wilds, so there are people in the wilds. I don't know what channel they're in or whatever, but we could head out and join them. I don't necessarily want to do a big group in the wilds. It's fun, but it's also like not really profitable in terms of drops. I would actually really prefer to try to do right now because we could do a few runs on something before I have to go today. I mean, I'm only gonna really have time for, let's see, maybe like an hour worth of runs. So hopefully,
We still looking for somebody?
yeah, I'm just on my way back in.
Cool, cool.
When I logged out and then logged back in, it put me above the lake by Old Kingsport.
Just gonna throw up on there looking for a group post.
Well, hopefully we can track down somebody soon.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back then. Oh, just heads up, there's no looking for group posting up. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yep, I just
do you
threw
know
up.
what you're looking for group backup?
Yeah, I just put it up.
Oh, nice. You got it. Sweet.
Just gonna go refill my water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be right back too.
Like
Alrighty.
people that bid on stalls, or oh. I think I would rather. I just got back from. Yep. We're waiting on people. Oh, I have a photo or thing for all the different teleports I could send you. Oh. I think you should go to the hospital, X-Slayer. Mm.
I'm good.
Hmm.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. I don't have any other musketeers that I know that are online, and I've checked through, and any of the people that I do know are.
on Discord with me.
And does he have a musketeer?
I'm not sure if he does. We could ask right now.
Ask him.
Yeah, Carly's gonna go do wilds and whatnot.
Yeah,
Asked her.
yeah. I sent her a message too.
Nope, he's not on my list anymore. He got off.
Okay. I'm pretty sure Hosk doesn't have.
No,
Any
Hosk,
updates?
I was just with Hosk. He just got off after
Okay.
doing something. He was going back to sleep or something. I don't know.
Asterisk
Like the video.
might. But he's probably in a group. Airbaged, Quantum, those guys are all in a group. Yeah, I don't know. We might have to go and do aberrations ourselves. If you guys are down to do that.
Oh, I'm totally
Did I
down.
join
haven't done
Carly
it
or
yet.
something? What? Or what?
We messaged everybody we know. There's
So we're gonna
There's-
join Carly or what?
Give
Well,
me
I
two
don't-
sec. Let me check one last place.
I don't know where Carly. I don't know which wilds they're in, but to be honest, it's better to not be in a big group when you're in the wilds. You don't get anything for drops if you are. It'd be good if we had a healer, but I mean, whatever.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna see if there's anybody on our Discord.
Okay.
Actually, it's hard to get those damn plane zones. From which wilds? Lucian? Okay. Yet the thing is, I hate trying to go through Lucian unless I'm with a party, and even with a party, it's like it's just packed. Like,
Alrighty. Oh man. I'd say one of the biggest problems the game is currently facing is that the end game players don't really have any end game to do.
%, like 20% off. Jesus.
Yes, who are you talking to?
Oh, sorry. I'm in Nova's Discord.
I thought I couldn't hear somebody.
All right, so which wilds do you want to head to?
Do you guys want to? I'm gonna warp back and drop everything off at my house real quick.
Yeah. What do I got in my inventory?
You guys want to meet
I'm
in
gonna go
Desert
to High
Wilds?
Step.
Yeah, why don't we just meet in High Step and we'll portal together from High Step?
Sounds good. Everybody got their home?
No, mine's like an 11-minute cooldown because of that stupid thing I had to do.
Oh. Can I portal in here?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay.
it's,
I'll meet you guys in high step.
yeah.
Let's see if I have a reagent, because I didn't check.
Yep. Alrighty.
I'll go put all my stuff in my
Yeah.
house, so I'm not leaving a whole lure trail all over.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys also going to the wilds? Everyone's all quiet now. Oh, I thought Carly was still in here. Huh. Oh, okay. That's okay. I'm not even allowed to.
Mm.
Jeez.
What's that?
Alright, I'm gonna get off Discord. Thank you.
Yo, Luca, what's up?
Oh no. Oh no.
That guy right to your left, to that lady, Princess Smith, wave at her.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Hello there. Alright, guys, where y'all
Hey,
at? Oh, never
How's
mind.
it going?
Hey,
Do you
Sorry, your voice cut out. Do I what?
do you know what the quest ghouls is?
Ghouls? I think that's the one you do. I think that's the one you do in the dungeon in the
What do I
desert.
select?
Ah,
Right.
Yeah, the ghouls are on the right-hand side of the desert when you go in.
In the desert dungeon, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
desert dungeon.
Right.
Not here, you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna log out here.
Great, I'll have a go at that. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Did you say you're logging up? Oh. I think Jesus Cat was having some issues. Oh, that's the worst, Luca. Screen's good otherwise, though.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Hey,
Yep.
Jesus Cat.
Hey, LoserCom.
Oh, okay.
Loser, were you our healer last night?
No, I was your tank.
You were a tank.
What do you invite
Alright.
me on?
And can you?
Unless you guys are done.
I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing we have enough people to really do is wilds, and it might even be tough without a healer. But I don't know. I mean, it seems a little bit early for me to sign off here, but maybe I'll
Just
call it
anybody
a
here that
day.
wants to,
If we can find a healer, I'll stay on.
language like that. Let's go. Let's see. I bet we can find somebody.
Have you tried yelling at it? Calling it names? I hate the feeling of like needing to search for a group.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's annoying either way. Alright, I'm gonna take off, you guys. Have a good night.
Hey, there's a level 19 musketeer right here. I'm gonna try and grab this level 19 musketeer.
Whew, the voice chat is bugged as hell. Okay. That's a little bit of a shame we didn't actually get to do anything substantial today. Completed a fishing quest, got a silly hat. That's cool. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those days where there's not a lot of people on and doing things. I was ready to do aberrations, but sometimes it's just tough to get a group together. I should honestly start leveling my musketeer because there was a time when there was so many musketeers and now there's like none. And I don't know what the hell the deal is. But I got a silly hat and that's what it's all about. So, tomorrow I'm just going to jump straight into doing either Tradu or aberrations. I don't want to do any fishing tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow I am not going to be online. There's a very slim chance I might be, but I'm pretty sure I won't have enough time to. So tomorrow, most likely not online, but the day after tomorrow, I'm going to hop straight in with aberrations. And hopefully by then they've got the voice thing fixed because it's really bugged out right now. It's kind of annoying. But I don't know if I don't know. I really don't want to level a low level character, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, anyways, for now, does this thing always come undone on the back? I hope the new Vive Pro has better cable management. I really hate the cable management on this thing. It's like a Velcro thing that always gets pulled undone. Anyways, yeah, so we completed that fishing quest. We've got a big list that we've got to fill for the next fishing challenge. Minnows aren't going to take too long, but I have to catch all of those. Green-bellied bass, I have all of. The catfish, I only need a handful of them, 5 or something. I need all of the axolotl, and I have all of the ridgeback. So I basically just need to catch minnows, catfish, and axolotl. And the catfish I don't need that many of, so we'll do the minnows, and I might catch the catfish with those. The axolotls will take a little bit more doing, and I really need to look and see what the cloakfish, see if I can find a better lure for it. I feel like I'm close, but I haven't gotten a precise, this is the lure to use. So hopefully I can figure that out. But I don't want to touch any of that fishing shit for a few days anyways. So day after tomorrow, I'm going to hop on and we will get straight into hacking and slashing and put the fishing to sleep for a little while because it is pretty tedious. It's a lot faster than it used to be for catching large amounts of fish, but it's still really tedious. So, alrighty, I am out of here. I will see you guys later. And day after tomorrow I'll be back on. Alright, later.